Hey there, horror fans. David Howard Thornton here, Mr. Art the Clown himself from the movie Terrifier, and you're watching Triple Flicks Mafia.
Triple Flicks Mafia.
Yo, 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 it's the Viz with Triple Flicks Mafia. We are here, or I am here, to do our next Top 5 Countdown series. This month we are doing PG-13 horror movies. Top 5 PG-13 horror movies. And if you actually look at a list of PG-13 horror movies, there's not that many good ones. And between the three of us, obviously, you know, we try to spread out some of the choices between the three of us, so it was kind of a struggle. Plus, when we do these videos, I like to try to pick stuff that I have on the shelf. If I don't own it, then I'm probably not going to talk about it, because for the most part, you know, I own everything that I pretty much really like, whether that's on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever it might be. But this is a weird 5 movies that I'm about to show you. One of them I can say like solid top of the line horror movie. The other 4, you know, it's kind of a stretch. You know, obviously I have to make the video. I have to pick 5 movies somehow. So, you know, it's an interesting topic. You know, it's really not. There's plenty of PG-13 movies, horror movies that, you know, they're fair, like decent watches, but they're not like top of the line movies. So let's just get into this. I'm just kind of rambling. I think if you put some thought into it, there's really not that many great PG-13 movies. But we're gonna talk about 15 of them. So I'm gonna do my 5, and then I think Tony is next week, and then Chad's the week after that. So the first one, it's a horror movie, but it's not like, you know, like horror. It's got a weird mixture of the different styles in it, but it's a collector's edition. And the main reason I want to talk about it is because I think it's a very underrated Scream Factory collector's edition that a lot of people don't talk about. It's one of the old Scream Factories, but I watched it for the first time within the past year, and I thought it was great. And that is Dreamscape. Just a very interesting movie. Almost kind of the way I describe it, it's almost like Inception meets a horror movie in the 80s. Dennis Quaid, obviously the main character, and then you've got the girl from Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. And you can already, you know, you can tell just from by the front cover, it's got some horror elements to it. Pretty much what happens, the reason I said Inception, there's this company, government, whatever you want to call it, department that is able to link up with somebody in their dreams, and they help people that have these really bad dreams and bad nightmares that are like becoming reality. And so Dennis Quaid is kind of like this, he's one of the main prospects they want to work for him, to go into these people's dreams and help them like through these problems. So that's why I kind of said Inception. It kind of has like that Inception vibe to it, where dreams become reality and they can get stuck in there, and you know, there's all this different stuff to it, just relating to dreams and how all that works. But really good movie though. I mean, it's not just like 100% horror. It has some horror scenes in it, but I think a really just well-made, interesting movie that just doesn't get much love, doesn't get talked about very much. So if you have this one on the shelf and you haven't watched it, check it out if you can find it. Really good, just 80s movie to watch. So that's my number 5, Dreamscape. Number 4, this is a DVD, the only DVD of the 5 that I'm showing. And, you know, I looked up, you know, PG-13 horror. This is on the list. It has kind of like Dreamscape. It has some horror elements in it, but this is more of a thriller. But it's from the 90s, I believe. I haven't or 2000, I'm sorry. I could have sworn it was like late 90s, but close enough, 2000. But it's Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer, and What Lies Beneath. I don't know if y'all remember this movie. I remember I think I saw this in the theater with my parents back in the day. I'm not really sure. Robert Zemeckis film, I didn't even know that. But really good movie. Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, they're an older couple that seem to have had some issues. Like Harrison Ford might have been unfaithful or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it. But Michelle Pfeiffer, she's kind of like a stay-at-home mom, and she starts seeing stuff. You know, there's like these really like creepy figures and all this stuff that starts happening inside the house. And then Harrison Ford doesn't really believe her. He's kind of just like brushing it off, like, you need to relax, calm down. And then of course, you know, there's all these twists and turns and stuff kind of hits the fan towards the end. But really good movie. You know, this is back in the heyday when Harrison Ford, you know, obviously he was you know, popping in the 80s and 90s, but this was kind of in that same, like, that last run of like good Harrison Ford movies, kind of like back in the Fugitive days. I think this was a year or two after The Fugitive. But yeah, that's my number 4, What Lies Beneath. Number 3, now I haven't watched this in a long time. I've had this since I started collecting Blu-rays. I blind bought it at one point. But it's a really, I thought it was a really good alien movie, and that is Dark Skies. Now, I haven't watched it in a long time. All I know is that I really enjoyed it. I remember some of the alien scenes in it. It was like really effective. You know, it's kind of like an alien invasion. You know, they show up and start like abducting people and stuff like that. I need to watch it again. My goal was to try to watch it again before I talked about it. But if it tells you anything, as I was picking out this top 5, it was one of those that I just automatically knew, like, oh yeah, that has to be in it. I don't think Tony and Chad have seen this one. I'd like for them to see it. Tony's freaked out, you know, with aliens, so I think this would be a fun watch with him. But let me know in the comments if you've seen Dark Skies. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's one a lot of people have just kind of pushed to the side. You don't ever really hear anybody talk about it, but I thought it was a pretty effective alien movie. So that's my number 3. Number 2, more of on the creature feature, animal horror movie side. One I've always just enjoyed, good guilty pleasure, and that is Anaconda. With J-Lo and Jon Voight, Ice Cube. I think I saw this in the theater back in the day. What year was this movie? 2009? I thought it was way before that. Maybe that's just for the Blu-ray. I'm not really sure. I'm not gonna sit here and just stare at the back of the movie while I'm filming the video, but everybody knows about Anaconda. My one hiccup with snake movies, why can't they make just one decent snake movie where the snake looks believable? I've yet to see a legit snake movie. You know, I understand it has to be CGI. You know, I think it'd be impossible to, unless they just got really clever with camera work. I think it would be really impossible to make a snake movie without it being CGI. But with the technology we have now, I just don't understand why we can't get a legit, like, killer giant snake movie that's worth something. But anyways, this has always been one I've enjoyed. I love the outdoor setting. You know, they're on the water the whole time, and you know, even though I'm terrified of snakes, I enjoy even the bad ones. I still enjoy watching snake movies. Animal horror is fun. You know, like crocodiles, alligators, snakes. I've seen arachnophobia. I actually really have arachnophobia. So I've seen that movie before, and I don't need to see it again. I refuse to buy it just because I'm not going to ever watch it. But snakes, for some reason, are more fun. Even though I'm terrified of snakes outside, they're still fun to watch. But that's my number 2, Anaconda. And then number 1, I've talked about this movie already on top 5 videos. I think it was top 5 sequels. I think it was sequels or remakes. I think it was remakes. can't remember. Remakes, that's what it was. But just still one of the top horror movies to me. I think it's still very effective. Some of the scenes in it are some of the scariest scenes I've seen in any horror movie, but that is The Ring. I can't get away from this movie. You know, the three of us, we were talking about, you know, all the different PG-13 movies. This one got said, and I was like, oh, I have to take it. Even though I've already talked about it, it's just one of my favorite horror movies. And this is just proof that it's possible to make a PG-13 horror movie and still make it really good, still make it scary, have a good story. And yeah, The Ring. I'm not going to talk about it because I've already talked about it before, but The Ring, amazing, love it. So that's my top 5. Simple video, not a whole lot to talk about, but definitely I'm glad I had the opportunity to talk about Dreamscape. I think this is just underrated, just slept on Scream Factory. Everybody's obsessed with Scream Factory and collector's editions, but as many of those videos as I've watched, no one ever talks about this movie. But yeah, that's my top 5. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Like I said, I think Tony is next week. Look forward to what he's going to talk about. And that's all I got for you. I hope y'all enjoyed this. It's the Viz with Triple Flix Mafia. I will talk to y'all later. Hit that thumbs up. Peace out. And don't forget, hit that dinger so you know when we're uploading stuff. Supposedly, like, people aren't aware of when we have videos that come out, which we have 2 to 3 videos coming out a week. So definitely hit the dinger, and we'll just go from there. Hope y'all are doing good. Talk to y'all later. Peace out.